Now let's break into our featured story of the day and discuss why right now BlackRock is betting so big on Bitcoin, considering BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world, currently controlling over $10 trillion in assets under management. Let's break this down, but let's start right here. Within 63 days, the first Bitcoin spot ETF will be launched. That's a fact. Here is why. In exactly 63 days, the final deadline for ARK Invest Bitcoin Spot ETF will finally arrive. The reality is the SEC cannot reject the ARK ETF and then approve BlackRock's Spot ETF. Considering that Grayscale had already won a lawsuit against the SEC, it's likely that all the Spot ETFs will be approved before ARK Invest. Therefore, we can anticipate the introduction of the first Bitcoin Spot ETF within the next 63 days. Send it. Check this out next. Bitcoin Spot ETFs application update. Number 1, till November 17th, which is still 5 days away, we're in an 8-day window where SEC can approve them all. And there's currently 12 of them sitting on the desk of the chairman, Gary Gensler. You know what I mean? Now, number 2, on the 17th, it's the deadline for the latest 2 apps, including Hashdex and Franklin Templeton. So mark that on your calendar, the 17th. Now, number 3, the 21st of November is the deadline for the 10th ETF application, which is Global X. And number 4, in case the decision for all 3 applications of points 2 and 3 are delayed and we pass on the 17th, the next important deadline, the most important of all, is on January 10th, 2024. So mark this date on your calendar, fam. The latest deadline for the SEC to decide on the ARK ETF application. And according to Eric Balchunas and James Seyfarth of Bloomberg, they're giving it a 90% chance of a massive Bitcoin ETF approval within the 10th of January of 2024. And it shows you all the dates here from all the major asset managers that we're watching out for right now. So keep this in mind first and foremost. Next up, BlackRock is increasingly confident we will see the SEC approval of Bitcoin Spot ETF in January. In fact, BlackRock already started seeding their investment back in October. They're buying mass amounts of Bitcoin. Also, they just recently, this was breaking news I shared a few days back, BlackRock submitted the iShares Ethereum Trust registered in Delaware. So not only are they coming for Bitcoin, they're coming for Ethereum. And this was Max's quote, which I quoted here. And you can see this is the official, filing proof of receipt. Now, an ETH ETF will create an interesting arbitrage between the proof of work and the proof of stake. Properly managed ETH ETF short positions will perpetually generate profits to roll into the Bitcoin ETF. Now, next, demand for Bitcoin can grow by up to 10x within the next 12 months. Now, the Giga Chad himself, Michael Saylor, was recently asked on November 10th, 2 days ago, at the speech he gave at the 2023 Australia Crypto Convention to provide his prediction regarding the trajectory of Bitcoin and its ecosystem in the forthcoming 4 to 5 years. And here's what the Giga Chad had to share. I transcribed his speech. I think that this next 12 months is going to be big. Preach, because demand on a monthly basis should double or even triple or maybe go up by a factor of 10x, send it, anywhere from 2 to 10. And the supply available for sale will be cut in half in April due to that Bitcoin halving, fam, right around the corner. So instead of $1 billion of Bitcoin available for miners each month, it will be $500 million. Again, it's getting cut in half. It's pretty unprecedented that you go from a supply and demand balance of maybe $15 billion of organic demand and $12 billion of organic supply. What happens when one doubles and the other one gets cut in half? The price is just going to adjust up. Facts. You're going to have a ferocious competition and will among Wall Streeters to get the most asset share. And you're going to have crypto exchanges competing, and you're going to have other tech companies getting involved. That will be one check. So if you think about it like that, you just say, well, now we're going to double. We are going to double again. We are going to double again. And we're going to double again. That coin is going to continue to progress to $1 million per Bitcoin, $2 million per coin, $5 million per coin, and then $10 million per Bitcoin. Send it and let's freaking go. And I'm going to share some more with you. Michael Saylor says BlackRock, Citadel, and Fidelity will send the Bitcoin price north of $1 million, transcribing another interview right here. It looks like a spot ETF will probably get approved. 100%. There is massive political pressure to approve one. The circumstances have changed, and now there is a way for the SEC to approve it without them backtracking on its previous legal and policy guidance. Certainly, there's a lot of Wall Street entities that have a vested interest in seeing this happen. BlackRock, Fidelity, you name it, JP Morgan, all of them. If you're an institution, one way to get Bitcoin exposure is to buy the underlying asset, but there have been challenges with finding the right exchange to buy it on and the custody arrangement. So a similar way to do so is with the spot Bitcoin ETF. There are trillions of dollars. The total addressable market is north of 700 trillion, just FYI fam, and capital that is required to invest in a security that trades in these compliant forums. And that is understating the obvious. There's tens of trillions of dollars. So there is a lot of capital that can't buy the Bitcoin or self-custody the Bitcoin. They don't want to do charter. Maybe it's against the tax code. Maybe when they raised $10 billion from public investors, they raised it to invest in securities, but not interested in properties or commodities. So the spot ETF availability is a major milestone for institutional adoption. Preach. The approval of the spot ETF is another major milestone in regulatory clarity, which is tantamount to an endorsement. The engagement of Fidelity, Citadel, BlackRock, Schwab. I mean, Schwab is synonymous with Wall Street. 100 years of Wall Street. That's a century, fam. So what you'll have is Wall Street coming together to offer securities and exchange services and indirectly custody services for mainstream investors. And if we look out about 12 months, and if what I was saying, what are the key milestones that drive mainstream adoption for Bitcoin? Well, one of them is clear. It's the spot ETF. The second is the designation that Bitcoin is an asset class, which we already know is a fact. The recognition of it as a legitimate commodity. It's a big deal. When Jerome Powell says it's not going away, when Gary Gensler and the head of the SEC and CFTC both say it's a digital commodity might not sound like much, but when you go down the next round, like, is it a Ponzi scheme? Is it a scam? Is it tulip bulbs? The difference between tulip bulbs and digital commodity is a 0 versus a 1. I've said it before. I'll repeat it again. If Bitcoin is not going to 0, it's going to $1 million per coin. It's either nothing. And if it's nothing, then it's getting scrubbed out and banned. And of course, we now know it's not getting banned. There is no way, fam, that Fidelity, Citadel, BlackRock, Charles Schwab, Deutsche Bank, Credit Agricole, Banco Santander all decide they're interested in this and they're not endorsing a tulip bulb, right? Once you go from 0 to 1, then the question is, well, it's an asset class. And if it's not going away, what's it worth? Well, it's worth 1% of the assets in the world. So 1% drives it up by a factor of 10 to 20. So there you have it, my crypto fam. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Michael Saylor's bullish price prediction that the Bitcoin price is likely to go parabolic this run and that we can potentially see a 10x on price appreciation, which would take the Bitcoin price to roughly $370,000 per Bitcoin. Let me know in that live chat.